RHOBH Kyle Richards shares if season 14 cast is sick of her. RHOBH star Kyle Richards is sharing whether the season 14 cast is sick of her or not. It has been alleged her co-stars had grown tired of Kyle's constant whining. She was not even sure if she would return for another year, but she did, and now it was not looking so good. So what does the mother of four have to say for herself? Keep reading for more details. RHOBH Kyle Richards shares if season 14 cast is sick of her. Kyle Richards has not had the best few seasons and reconsidered returning to RHOBH. There have been key moments in her run where she thought about stepping down but never did. Season 12 ended with a horrific Aspen trip and her sister, Kathy Hilton, flipping out. Kathy said atrocious things about the entire cast, including Kyle. They had finally reconciled and now they were at an impasse. Then season 13 rolled around, and it was all about Kyle and her husband of nearly 30 years, Mauricio Umansky's marital issues. She was allegedly having an affair with country singer Morgan Wade, but maintained they were just good friends. By the time of the reunion, Kyle and Kathy had reconciled, but she and Mauricio were officially separated. Kyle did decide to return, but had to deal with an impending divorce and Mauricio's new romance with Nikita Khan. There are several claims that the cast is over her whining amid her split. But is that really true? Kyle has set the record straight and maintains that is completely false. Though they were all supportive, who was really there for Kyle when she needed a shoulder, aside from Kathy Hilton, who is back this season? The reunion is where everyone has to answer for what they did throughout the season plus attempt to reconcile. So who does Kyle Richards think has to do the most answering when it comes to the season 14 RHOBH reunion? Filming for that won't happen anytime soon, but when the time comes, Kyle knows she will be in the hot seat. However, despite all that she went through, she admits that this season was therapeutic. In fact, that was the best part of the season. It does look like this is shaping up to be an interesting season. There are some other tales about what has transpired with the cast this season. Sutton Stracke's horse allegedly kicked Dorrit Kemsley, so little things like that might make for a quirky season. Kyle Richards has never been one to shy away from drama, but even she has to admit that season 14 of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is testing her patience like never before. With swirling rumors, tense confrontations, and a cast that seems to be turning against her, the question on everyone's lips is the RHOBH cast sick of Kyle Richards? It all started subtly. At first, it was just a few side eyes and hushed whispers when Kyle walked into the room. Then the eye rolls became more pronounced, the passive-aggressive comments sharpened, and soon enough, it felt like the ladies of Beverly Hills had found a new pastime, questioning everything about Kyle. For Kyle, it was a frustrating shift. After all, she had been the backbone of the show since its inception, navigating friendships, betrayals, and family feuds, all while maintaining her position as the queen bee of the group. But now things were different. The cast seemed fed up. Some, like Garcelle Bavath and Sutton Stracke, had openly questioned Kyle's authenticity, particularly regarding her highly publicized separation from Mauricio Umansky. Others, like Dorrit Kemsley, had started voicing their own grievances, accusing Kyle of keeping her walls up and being emotionally unavailable. Then there was Erica Jane, who had a different perspective altogether. She was more amused by Kyle's predicament than anything else. Kyle doesn't like when the heat's on her. Erica smirked in a confessional. She's been sitting at the head of the table for years, but now that people are finally asking questions about her life, she doesn't like it one bit. It wasn't just the cast who were noticing the shift, it was the fans too. The Bravoverse was abuzz with speculation that Kyle's time as the unofficial leader of RHOBH was coming to an end. Social media was flooded with theories, memes, and commentary dissecting her every move. Had Kyle finally reached her breaking point? In a rare moment of candor, Kyle addressed the swirling controversy head-on. "I know people are saying the cast is sick of me," she admitted in an interview. "And honestly, I get it. I've been on this show for so long, and I think when you've been around as long as I have, people start to look for reasons to push you out." Despite her usual ability to maneuver through drama unscathed, Kyle found herself struggling this season. Her friendships with Dorit and Sutton had grown strained, and her once tight bond with Erica seemed to be hanging by a thread. Even Garcelle, who had never been Kyle's biggest fan, was giving her a harder time than usual. It was a shift Kyle hadn't anticipated. One of the most explosive moments of the season came during a cast trip to Aspen, where tensions boiled over. Sitting around a dinner table in a lavish mountain lodge, Sutton finally said what many had been thinking. "Kyle, you expect us to be open about our lives, but you pick and choose what you share," she said, her southern drawl making the words sound slightly less harsh. "It's frustrating, and it makes it hard to trust you." Kyle's face turned red as she took a deep breath. "That's not fair," she shot back. "I've been more open than anyone on this show. I shared my family struggles, my friendships, my marriage." "But not everything," Garcelle interjected. "When it comes to the tough stuff, you shut down. And that's why people are frustrated." The table fell silent. Even Erica, who usually had a snarky remark locked and loaded, simply sipped her wine and watched as Kyle squirmed under the scrutiny. Later, in her confessional, Kyle admitted the moment shook her. "I've always tried to be as open as I can, but maybe they're right. Maybe I have been holding back more this season." With all the mounting tension, fans began speculating that season 14 could be Kyle's last. Could she really stick it out another year if the cast had truly turned against her? Would Bravo consider shaking up the lineup and shifting the focus away from its longtime matriarch? For now, Kyle isn't giving any clear answers. "I love this show, I love the fans, and I love sharing my life," she said. "But there are moments where I wonder if it's time to step away." One thing's for sure, whether the cast is sick of Kyle or not, she remains at the center of the RHOBH universe. And as long as there's drama, diamonds, and dinner parties gone wrong, Kyle Richards will always have a place in the 90,210.